Let's hit him with the JDs and Littlemen.
Okay, then. JDs and Littlemen, Goys and Burls, Binaries of all ages, welcome to the show. If you've kind of learned to do character creation the right way, you're in the wrong place, because we're going to make cats. Because this is how to make a literal cat in your favorite RPG. And you can blame Austin, the other co-host. I'm Joel, by the way. You can blame Austin, the other co-host, for the way I introduced that.
All I have to say is, got him. It's okay. It's a one-off, you know. We like to have a little fun here.
We do. Even though this is a very serious show with very serious, very important subject matter.
Absolutely. So let's get down to brass tacks. What are we playing?
I mean, I was going to do a whole, 5-minute speech on why people deserve to be able to play as cats in their very serious RPGs. Oh. But sure, we can get down to brass tacks. That's fine.
Okay. We'll save that for another episode.
Yeah.
I know you probably spent a lot of time preparing and all that. All your slides.
Yep. Big ol' 32-slide PowerPoint for the whole 5-minute speech.
That you're flying through those slides then.
Mm-hmm. I've got a rate of close to 5 per second. Or not per second, per minute.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just have to play a whole bunch of them at once because I couldn't figure out how to get an animation to play. So I had to click through them real fast.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah. Great content for an audio medium. But anyway, we're jumping right into this one. So let's just go ahead and tell people that we are playing Parselings by Smunchy Games.
Smunchy Games.
Yeah. The logo's right there on page 3 of the PDF.
Oh, that looks like the mask from Crash Bandicoot.
It does kinda, except meaner.
Yeah, and with tusks.
Yeah. What are those masks called again?
What? I can find out for you.
Anyway, wait, are you actually looking it up?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Aku is... Mind, they don't say what kind of mask. They just say that he's a mask, so...
It's unfortunate.
Cut that.
Have to ask someone at Naughty Dog who remembers the good old days when they made good video games what the mask type is supposed to be. But anyway, yeah, we're playing Parselings by Smunchy Games. This is a game where, as I understand it, you are playing as a guy who has been infected by a parasite, and the parasite gives your words literal power.
Literal power for a literal cat sounds very fitting.
Yeah, so that is one thing. We're going to get into this in a minute, but I'm pretty sure our cat will have to be able to be capable of human speech in this game.
Well, as we know, we've worked around that in the past, or worked with that. But as always, before we get into the game rules, we should discuss how we're going to work around that with our rules.
Yes, he's got a point there. So we do have something that we love to call the cat creation rules. These are the rules that the podcast follows. The first of which is we accept no cop-outs. We are making a cat. We're making the exact animal that comes to mind when I say the word. And I'm not talking to you right there who just pictured a lion. You're lying to yourself. Get the image in your head back to the thing that sits in your lap on a cold winter's day. It's just that, not some anthropomorphic cat race, no people turned into cats, no lions, tigers, no other cop-outs you can imagine, and that's that.
That's it, just cats. House cats, think of a house cat. And speaking of house things, we're going to rule number 2, which is we cannot use house rules, or as most people call them, homebrew rules. If the rules in the rule book don't explicitly allow us to do something, we count it as a rule broken for our show. And if we come across rules as written versus rules as intended, we would go with whichever one is leaning us towards, no. Hey, you can't do that.
Rule number 3 is if the game includes stats for a literal cat, those must be used or adapted to the game's character sheet. I don't think that happened here. I'm 99% certain that cats were not part of the setting.
People getting parasites, probably not a lot of cats in the thought creation process.
I don't know. Don't cats have a brain parasite that they infect people with that makes people like cats more?
I can neither confirm nor deny that. I do not have the qualifications to speak on that. As somebody who owns a cat, I would say yes. I like my cat a lot.
Do you think that was done through coercion?
I don't think so. I met him when he was just a little guy, just a little baby, and I've liked him since. So,
all right, I think we can trust. I think we can trust his opinion this time.
On to rule number 4, though.
Yeah.
The character class, background, playbook job, what have you, has to exist in the game's core rules or as part of an official expansion. Can't use homebrew still. That hasn't changed.
Rule number 5, the cat can learn any skill available to its class, even if it's not something a cat could normally be trained to do. We've had superhero cats before. Most cats don't have superpowers, as far as I know.
Presumably.
I mean, to be fair, most humans with superpowers keep them secret too, at least in the comic books.
Rule number 6. If a tool would be physically impossible for a literal cat to use, even if comically downsized for them, they cannot use it. So, there's a lot out there. Wine bottle openers. Well, I was going to say a toaster, but I think a cat could actually very easily use a toaster. They just probably have a hard time getting the bread in.
Yeah, and then out safely.
Yeah, true. Well, they got claws. They could pick it up.
True.
But yeah,
etc. Opposable thumbs.
That makes it really hard.
Yep. Anyway, rule number 7. If a character sheet has a section that is meant to be filled out in collaboration with the whole table, we will leave that blank. That way, anyone who wants to pick the sheet up and run with it, you can fill it out with the rest of your table during session 0, and it will still be fine.
And finally, rule number 8 is we have to keep track of every rule that we break. Run through those at the end, letting you all know the juicy details of how badly we messed up this game. Which usually is not that bad.
It could be worse.
It could be.
Yeah. Usually we only have to get past a couple things. First off, cat not part of setting, potentially. And second, cat not intended to be played as. So once you throw those 2 things by the wayside, it turns out that there's a lot that you don't have to do to make it work.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I need to figure out where the character creation section begins here. Oh, hey.
26 of the PDF.
Sounds like Austin's already figured this out for me.
I like to prepare a little bit before the show starts. And by that I mean I went to the index and it said character creation and I clicked that and it shot me straight to the page.
Love it when PDFs are able to link things like that.
Yeah, it's great. Very good accessibility feature.
Very convenient. Anyway, so in order to play this game, you need a character to explore the chaotic world ahead of you. This section will reference many different parts of the book without explaining too many rules in great detail. Great for us who don't know the rules, because I barely remember reading this book when I got it. So if your group is reading through this book for the first time, it may be a little confusing. Again, very comforting to us who famously read all of our RPGs through thoroughly before beginning the episode.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so let's just get into this, hope for the best. Step 1 appears to be character name, or just coming up with details for a character in general. The character name, we have retired the Tales of Zadia name list, so without any email recommendations in my inbox at the moment that I can see, I think we're gonna have to go with this style list on how cat owners name their pet cats.
Correct. Now, there are 9 styles listed here. And we could either choose one, or we could do, in typical RPG fashion, roll a D10 to pick a specific style.
Or we could just do the roll twice thing on a 10. That's where you roll the D10 twice and choose both styles.
Dice tray right here. We've got a D10 handy. So let's roll them bones, as they say. And we got a 10. So you know what that means.
What do you know?
A 4 and an 8. So style 4 is mythology and folklore, and style 8 is astronomy, which actually combo pretty well together, I think.
Yeah, there's some overlap there. So like we could name our cat Mars Aries or something like that, and it would be a bit redundant, but it would fit.
Mm.
But do you have like a mythology thing that you would specifically like to reference, considering we have a talking cat whose words are power?
Hmm. Now, immediately when I hear talking cat, the first mythological creature that comes to mind is Ra, I believe. Ra's the cat, right? No, Ra's the
Ra is like a falcon, I want to think.
Yeah.
I want to say.
Thinking of this.
No, that's Horus. Ra is also a bird, but the
He is a
falcon
bird.
is Horus.
Don't mind me, just doing a quick Bastet. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, Bastet is the...
And then we have astronomy.
See, astronomy, basically everything is already named after mythological creatures, or people anyway.
Mm-hmm. Bastet Orion.
No, that sounds good, actually. Let's do that.
Bastet Orion.
Yeah, we can go with that. Full name. Full legal first name.
Incredible.
So, we've got our name, now we need our age and our gender. Since the first part of the name is feminine, you would assume a feminine cat perhaps, but the second half of the name is masculine, per its origins in mythology. So, I don't know how we want to do that here.
You know, I think it's been a while since we've done a feminine cat, so typically a last name does not have a bearing on gender.
Now that I can accept. But is Bastet Orion a first and last name, or is that a full first name?
Oh, are you saying, like, is it hyphenated or something? Mm.
Maybe, because, like, you've got people like Mary Kate, or, what is it, Emily Elizabeth, or...
Mary Jane.
Yeah, or Mary Jane, who is definitely not just a friend that Peter Parker made up to excuse himself to go smoke weed.
He would never. We can do a hyphenated name.
I mean, that helps us less than saying first name, last name, but...
Yeah, it does. You know what? I'm still feeling the feminine, so...
Sounds good. We'll do a female cat, aged... We've got a list of age ranges somewhere. Cat lifespan 12 to 18 years. So, we don't want like a super old cat. We want them to be able to do some stuff.
What if we do like an older cat? So like, what if we chose like 9, you know?
Yeah, okay. Also, like, I know this is just what we pulled up off Google, but anyone out there who's actually had a cat live 18 years, please at me.
Yeah, same. I don't think I know anybody who has had a cat live that long.
No. But anyway, so we've got age and gender principles. These are the cornerstones of your character's concept, ideologies which define who they are as free-thinking individuals. You ever find yourself struggling during play to know how your character should act? These will be your guideposts. So, let's see, I don't have the character sheet pulled up. Give me just a second. My bad. I should have this for reference. It's a very, very detailed, very full of detailed character sheet, this. Are we supposed to, like, come up with the principles ourselves? It doesn't look like there's, like, a thing talking. What page was the index on? It's probably in the back of the book, isn't it?
Sorry, not index. Table of contents is what I meant earlier.
Oh.
Which is on PDF page 7.
Well, I found the insect, so I'm gonna see if there's anything specific about, like, principles in here. It doesn't look like there is, so... I mean, we're gonna be jumping all over the book anyway, so if we find something that contradicts what we come up with here, then that's fine, we'll just fix it. But it could be that we just need to, like, come up with something, you know?
So I found a words and labels section that tells us what principles are, but it doesn't... It doesn't give any extra information on how to make them.
Okay, so we just kind of come up with it.
I'm assuming so. The character sheet, however, does give us kind of an idea. So, principles say short-term goals twice, long-term goals, and then paragraph goals. I think those are separate things.
They might be separate things. I get why it would be confusing, though, the way this is laid out.
Yeah. Principles. This little blurb says everyone has an ideal or set of core beliefs that their actions are centered around. These can be instilled through a person's parental figures or religion, or developed as they journey through life. These principles form a basic guide to how they can be expected to act. These rules can be helpful reminders to keep your character consistent within the game. So I'm assuming it means like, what does our character?
Yeah, it sounds like it's like our core motivator, kind of like a thing to fall back on if we're not sure how to act.
Yeah.
So, like as a cat, do we want to? What do we want to? Are we a playful cat? Are we a combative asshole cat? Are we a shy cowardly cat? Are we a friendly cat?
See, now, Bastet, if we want to base it off the goddess of protection, pleasure, and the bringer of good health. So we can do things like stands up for others.
Okay, yeah, I think that works. I think if we need a second one, it could be like stands up for others, but maybe also like prioritizes short-term happiness or something like that.
Okay.
Like if we're going off Bastet and one of Bastet's domains is pleasure, like that was just where my mind went on like. But I like to stand up for things as like our primary thing. If there's no room for a second one, we should do stand up for others.
I think there's room for a second one because it does say principles plural. So we can say stands up for others and prioritizes happiness around them, or prioritizes the happiness.
Like I was thinking like their own short-term happiness, like whatever makes them feel good in the moment.
Gotcha.
But also they will go to bat for anyone they care about.
Nice. Then I'll hate the I before E rule.
It is confusing sometimes. Let's see. Our next thing is appearance. So, what do we want to look like?
Well, if we're still going the Bastet route.
Oh yeah, there's a cat called like an Egyptian Mao or something like that. It was what... do you remember the Mean Kitty song?
No.
Oh man, it was a viral video from, I want to say 2011? 2007 actually.
Oh wow.
So even older. And it's this guy rapping about how much of an asshole his new cat is.
Incredible.
But anyway, that cat was an Egyptian Mao. That's the only reason I know the breed exists, is because of that video.
Nice. I think Egyptian Mao fits.
Yeah, and that's spelled Egyptian the way you spell Egyptian, and then M-A-U. Don't ask me how to spell Egyptian, because I can't remember. I'll bet I could figure it out real fast, though.
Egyptian Mao with black fur, because that is what Bastet is depicted as.
Alright. I mean, they're typically, like, lighter color cats, I think, but they do
That's
have, like,
true.
dark black spots.
We can, you know what? Let's make this up. What color are we thinking?
Well, I'm gonna see if there is like an actual range of colors somewhere. Height, weight, lifespan, temperament, high playfulness. Yes, that's 1 moment. It doesn't.
Google
Spotted
it.
coat.
Sorry, continue.
No, it just says that they have a spotted coat.
Oh.
Yeah, this site was not helpful.
The Egyptian Mouse spotted coat comes in 3 different colors: silver, bronze, or smoke. Let's not get fancy. Silver and smoke are the same color, and it is gray.
But probably one's a darker gray, right?
Surely.
Gotta be. We should go with that one.
Smoke.
Yeah, like a smoky gray Egyptian Mao.
Nice.
Also, according to Purina.com, you know, the people who make like dog and cat food, they run it up to 30 miles per hour.
That is insanely fast. Is that all we want to put for appearance?
I think that's all we need for the moment. Unless you want to specify that it's like a really chunky cat or something.
We can leave that up to the player.
Yeah, you get to decide how chunky you are when you play. Alright, now we do personality.
Let's see. Write a short description of how your character behaves. This should cover the first impression they give off, their drives, triggers, likes, and dislikes.
Okay.
There is not a spot specifically for personality on this sheet.
Is it on the second page, maybe?
I'll put it under appearance. I'll just make it its own.
Wow, they really do not have a personality slot, even though we're supposed to have, a paragraph for the personality?
Yeah, I noticed a lot doing this show. Typically, character pages leave off pretty big sections, and I don't know why.
Look, it was an accident that I left off the what was it? Ability, the character specific ability.
That was not a call
My
out
bad.
towards you,
Okay,
but I'm sorry that you resonated with that. This has happened so many times on the podcast.
true, it has, but I was the most recent one.
That is also true. Yeah.
Problem of reviewing your own game, you gotta call yourself out.
So personality here is okay. This will help a little bit, or probably, but it also gives good context to anybody listening, which is everybody who is listening right now.
Yeah, Egyptian mouths are very playful, by the way.
We will
Just from my continued Google searching of them.
We will be sure to list that.
Okay.
Let's see. Personality encompasses who we are at this very point in time, and it dictates how we choose to react to our day-to-day moments. In a sense, it is a mask that we show to the world, offering a snippet of who we are, allowing people to judge us and build their own expectations of who we are. By giving us a face to identify, we develop a reason to empathize with others' troubles. At the start of a campaign, your character only needs a simple idea of who they are. They might be irritable, calm, sad, or happy. There are many different words that can be used to describe a person's nature. Sad is a different form of is different from melancholic, which is again different from grieving. While these may mean similar things, each of these descriptions implies unique connotations. In the end, it is up to you whose face you'll wear in each campaign.
And again, they are specifying this because words do have actual power in this game.
Yes. Very funky. I love it. So let's see. We are playful.
Playful and, I guess, energetic.
Energetic is a good word.
I think it's a fair description when our two main things are feeling good in the moment and standing up for the homies.
Yeah. So maybe we want to put brave or what's the word I'm looking for? Protective.
Yeah.
I think protective works more than brave. Because I guess you don't have to be brave to be...
We're being specific here is the point.
Yeah. I think you don't have to be brave to be protective, but being protective can inherently cause you to be brave in different times.
Yeah.
I think they feed into each other.
It's just when you're brave is the important thing here.
Yeah. Any other key words that we want to go with?
I mean, we've already got 3 buzzwords. I think that's good enough to go on for now.
Yeah. It's, like they said, it's the start of the campaign. They don't have to be super in-depth.
Yep. Our next thing on this is history. So we write a brief personal history. Touch on childhood, adolescence, adulthood, important figures in their life, and their current stage in life as relevant. Now we have to decide upon our cat's backstory.
Yeah.
I think if we're playful and energetic, even as an old man, which we are at 9 years old,
yeah,
then we've had a decent life. We've had a charmed life.
Maybe
probably well fed and kept in shape.
Yeah. So maybe born to a good family. Also, just realized you can't see.
Oh, I wasn't even paying attention to your screen sharing that much.
Fair enough.
But anyway, yep. Born to a good family, well fed, stayed in shape.
Do we want to say that she stayed in shape through like playing with other cats? Like, I'm assuming this is not, a one cat family.
No. Probably one of those families where they got a cat for their cat. So yeah, they've got friends, they got a family, they've got a lot to live for. But they also, I don't know. We're not really told to specify this here, but I'm assuming that the parseling thing, the infection with the parasite or whatever it is that gives your words power, must have happened later in life if this is the kind of life the cat has lived up to this point.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. I'm assuming we will be told how that plays in at some point. Fingers crossed.
Right, some more flavor text here.
Okay.
Do we want to discuss in her history how it happened?
No, that's what I'm saying. I think we should leave that until, like, at the very least, we should leave that until we know, like, specifically how it happens, or if or when.
Gotcha. Okay.
Finally, for step 1, we have goals. So, is there a place elsewhere in the book where they talk about that?
Yeah, so back under the words and labels on page 38 of the PDF, we have goals, and some examples are where did they come from, what has their journey been like. Everyone has goals and ambitions, even if they choose not to actively pursue them. They can be as simple as surviving the day or finishing that snack in the fridge. Or they could be something more challenging, such as avenging your family or delving into the disappearance of your cat.
I'm right here.
In this game, it is strongly advised that you work with the GM to set your character's goals. This can help keep the story relevant to your character, letting the GM and other players know what you want to do.
All right. So that's good. I'm gonna look further in to see if there is further guidance on making goals.
Sure.
Parse system. This is playing the game. Goals and guidance. It can be frustrating, being forced to abandon your own plans or have to force the party to engage the story. Oh, this is part of the GM handbook. Probably should skip past that. GM handbook is very long, by the way. Chapter 5 goes on for most of the book, I would say. Yeah, no, we don't really get much guidance on that, so, which is unfortunate, unless I've missed something here, because, like, we've got a lot of goals that we're supposed to fill out here, and are we supposed to do all of them?
I believe so.
Okay. If I search, I've already tried control effing goals, and I got 38 results. Most of them were in chapter 5. Most of the other ones were in the parts we'd already read.
So it looks like these are something we create ourselves or with the GM to push the story along.
I think, is there, I should see if there's at least something better for paragraph goals. There is not, it seems like, which is weird because it gets its own thing on the... Okay, we should at least come up with a short-term goal and a long-term goal. And then, like, it sounds like this is something that's, like, intended to be done with the GM. So, like, maybe we leave the two that we don't understand. We leave the one duplicate of short-term goals, and we leave the paragraph goals, which we don't understand, up to the player to discuss with their GM.
Yeah.
I'm sure we will find out what paragraphs are in the context of the game as we keep working on this, hopefully, but for the so anyway, let's just come up with one short-term and one long-term goal.
Sounds good.
And we've already established that our cat's, like, highest priority when it's not taking care of anyone else is to take care of itself in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe a good short-term goal would be to just play as much as I can. Like, just play as much as I can today. Goof off, play as much as I can.
I like that.
I don't know. Maybe if they're an older cat and they're living with someone who has many cats that they are a mother figure to at this point, maybe a long-term goal could be, like, you know, seeing to the well-being of the younger cats, like making sure they grow up right.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing.
All right, step 2 here is words. We've already read a bit about this on page 26, but we're probably going to be using that section a lot more at this point. So as a group, you must pick out words for your characters. Whoops.
Yikes.
We might do a little bit here that's in violation of Rule 7.
Yeah, because otherwise we're skipping an entire step of the character creation process.
Which we've done before, but it's never been at step 2.
Yeah.
And it's never over something as, like, central to the player actions as defining the words which will power your play through the parse system, which is explained in chapter 4. Or is it 3? It's 3 and or 4. This game has, like, 2 separate, like, rule systems for different parts of the game. One is, I forget what it's called, and the other one is the parse system. You will need to justify your choices to the GM. No, you won't, because we're just going to do it here. There is no GM to hold us down. But anyway, any words chosen should relate back to how either others see your character or your character describes themselves. And we can work off of how our character describes themselves and how we see the character. We've been doing that already.
Part of the example at the bottom.
Yep. Let's see here. We've got... So we don't necessarily have to fill out the whole word pool, especially since, yeah, it sounds like this is something that the word pool is something that's decided as a group. So we can just kind of come up with our contributions here.
Yeah. Let's see. There are 2 methods of determining your word pool. I recommend the use of 1020 as it will give you greater variation. The ad-lib methods allows for quicker character creation.
And it also says here that at the end of a story arc, you'll have the opportunity to change out your words. So anything that we do, you're not permanently stuck with.
Yeah.
So it looks like I'm going to just read here because the 1020 character evenly divide up the word pool slots of your character between the GM, co-players, and yourself. Each other member will contribute at least 1 aspect and 2 augments. So that you have, by the end, a list of 10 aspects and 20 augments. Number the aspects from 1 to 10, then roll 1d10 to determine your character's first aspect. Then number the augments from 1 to 20, roll 3d20s to determine your character's first 3 augments. So it looks like you form this list, and then you get 1 aspect to begin the game and 3 augments out of this list of 20 that the group comes up with together. We're probably not going to do that because I don't want to have to come up with 30 words just to throw out 26 of them.
Yeah. I think we can come up with, since we are counted as a member, we can come up with 1 aspect and 2 augments together.
Right. But we also have the ad-lib method, which is used for faster character creation. This is the one where it says your character will receive 1 aspect and 2 augments from each other player and the GM. You may continue to fill up the words until you have a total of 6 aspects and 12 augments. Number them 1 to 6, roll 1d6 to determine your character's first aspect. Augments 1 to 12, then roll 3d12 to determine your character's first 3 augments. So, aspects are nouns that represent core parts of your character and will be used in parsing to define the target of the parse. Augments are any type of word that can be used to describe your character. They can be nouns, verbs, adjectives, or adverbs. We've already kind of built a list of some buzzwords that would probably fit the augments section on our character sheet, right?
Yes. So those words would be, kind of fit with our personality. So like playful, energetic, protective.
Yep.
Could be augments.
Yeah, potentially.
So I guess one of our augments could be brave. Like I said earlier, goes hand in hand with protective.
Yeah.
So do you want to do that one as one of ours?
Yeah, let's do brave. So we want to come up with, do you want to come up with, actually come up with 12 things, or do you want to just well, we know we need 3 by the end, so we're going to make 3.
I say let's just keep it to, let's make 3.
Okay. So we're breaking the law of the book and not doing either thing and just taking the shortcut to coming up with 3 words.
Yeah.
There's 2 rules we've broken. Rule number 1 that we broke, not supposed to play as cat. Rule number 2, butchering step 2.
Yep.
So let's see, where's our... Oh, you've done it for me. Thank you.
I got you. To be fair, step 2 really just complete... It's a complete counterplay to our entire podcast.
It really is. It's an important aspect of character creation that you do not decide on your own. We've not had many pieces this big other than, the kids on bikes thing. And that's why we separated that out into, we didn't separate it out. We lumped it in with a bunch of other games.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we've got brave. We've got, I think friendly.
Friendly, yeah. I was thinking caring.
Is probably a word that you would use to describe this cat.
Friendly, I was thinking caring as well, but I guess caring is a little different than friendly, unless you have another.
Yeah. I mean, if we want to represent all three of our, like, our personality buzzwords, then we need something for playful. And it might just be playful. I've been trying to toy around with, like, synonyms for that, and I can't think of a good one. I got the old thesaurus.com pulled up here, and nothing is to my satisfaction.
That's fair. Yeah, we can just list playful as one. Who's gonna stop us? You know.
I guess we could do like lively, maybe.
Lively. I like that. Lively.
Yeah, I guess that's fine. I'm not happy with it, but it's different than just repeating words we've already used on our character sheet. So
yeah. Okay, now we need what, one aspect?
yes, one core feature of this character. And we could probably pull that from our values, which were cares deeply about others and prioritizes its own happiness, right? Or something like that.
Stands up for others and prioritizes their short-term happiness.
Okay. So, like, we've got all this stuff about this cat being, like, caring, motherly, but it's also kind of selfish, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, would that be a good, like, core aspect of the character is, like, it's like, mild selfishness?
I'm confused a little bit by the wording in the book, because it says aspects are nouns that represent core parts of your characters.
Oh. Like, it specifically is a noun.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
And nouns, for those of you in the audience, are a word other than a pronoun used to identify any of a class of people, places, or things, or to name a particular one of those things, which is a proper name.
Yeah, I've watched Schoolhouse Rock videos, so...
Well, you know, maybe somebody in our audience has it, and maybe somebody on our show needs some clarification on the definition of a noun, you know?
Alright. Well, maybe our audience should go watch Schoolhouse Rock.
True. I will advocate for that one.
What's a good, like, noun that you would call someone who is selfish? I can't...
Yeah, I'm trying hard to think.
Wastrel. Or wastrel. Wastrel. A wasteful person. No, never mind. That's not what I thought it was. A deadbeat is not really a good description. A slouch, maybe? No, this is an energetic cat, so not... I'm leaning in the wrong... I'm leaning the wrong way here. The thesaurus is letting me down.
Yeah.
Maybe a thrill seeker? I don't know if we can, like... If hyphenated words still count as one word?
Depends on who you ask, I think.
Well, I'm asking you.
Yeah, I think they count as one word.
Alright, because I think maybe a thrill seeker, so, like, you know...
Yeah.
This person likes to be active, so maybe some cheap thrills will give it the excitement, the adrenaline rush it needs to feel good. She needs to feel good about herself for the day.
Yeah, I like that. Thrill seeker.
And there we go. There's step 2 out of the way, I think.
Yeah.
Now we're on to step 3, which is image. How many steps are there again?
I believe 7.
Alright, so, man, we've spent an hour on the first 2 steps.
Yeah.
This one's gonna be a long one, guys. Anyway, let's finish step 3 and then send everyone over to listen to the announcements.
Yeah. Let's see. Step 3, image. You need to decide on your character's image. This will explain how your character is shown in the game when others see them. Image is separated into 4 main groups. Intent, which includes intelligence and insight. Feats, which includes force and finesse. Conduct, which consists of charm and cunning. Push, which consists of potential and perseverance. Figure out what is most important to your character and choose primary and secondary category. Your character begins with 1 point in each image stat as the innate ability of any living being. You do not spend points to fill in the starting segments. You have 7 points to spread among your images. They must be distributed along a 3-2-1-1 point spread.
Okay. And let's see, is that... Where is that? On the sheet.
On the sheet, that is the big circle.
Is that the circle?
Yes.
So, these have different names, but that's okay. The stats, I think I can figure out what they're supposed to be. So, we can work with that. It's like this calls it like intent feeds conduct push, and on the sheet we've got enchantment, embodiment, emissions. So it could just be two completely different things. We'll see.
Could be, but the smaller abbreviations seem to align with the full text of the book.
Yeah. So like the abbreviations are what we're working off now. So is our cat more focused on intelligence and insight, force and finesse, charm and cunning, or potential and perseverance? Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say it. They are not for potential and perseverance. That is not going to be primary or secondary. That just seems very, very counter to how this cat conducts itself. They are not about pursuing their own potential. They are not about perseverance. They are going to back down and go home and play video games at the first opportunity. But they could be very smart. They could be very strong. Or they could be very charming.
Let's see. I think they're probably pretty strong and pretty charming.
Okay, so which one's primary and which one's secondary? A lot of decisions right here.
Yeah.
I kind of think conduct, the charm and cunning, should be primary.
I think so too.
At least we've got that. That's the impression we give other people.
Yeah. Because if you have somebody sticking up for you, I'm sure you think highly of them. So that would lead them to be pretty charming in your eyes.
Yeah. So we put 3 then in charm and cunning.
Think 2 of them should be added to charm, and then 1 should be added to cunning.
No, it says, so we distribute 3 points to the images of, oh, I see what you mean. So they're all 1 by default. So then we're basically like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we're adding 3 total and
2. Yeah, so we could get like 3 charm, 2 cunning with our existing total here.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, okay.
3, and then distribute 2 points into the images of the secondary category, which would be feats, aka force and finesse. We could either even those out, or we could have higher force than finesse.
Let's see. Finesse is like intricate, like delicate subtlety, right?
Believe so.
With a certain amount of grace.
Yeah. I think they're semi-graceful.
Are they as forceful as they are graceful is the real question.
Actually, I don't know. Are they graceful though? I mean, if you're a thrill seeker,
that's true. You may
a
not
lot.
put as much effort into your grace.
Yeah.
And this cat is known for throwing hands in defense of others.
So I think we should put both into forceful.
Yeah, okay. I agree with that.
Okay. 3 there, and distribute 1 point to one of the images for each of the remaining 2 categories. So we can make potential, perseverance, and then intelligence and insight. We can bump 2 of those 4 up to 2, or we can bump 1 of those 4 up to 3. Or wait, no.
No, we've only got 1 point for each. So I think this cat's going to be more insightful than it is intelligent, maybe?
That makes sense.
Keeping an eye on the young ones will do that to you.
Yeah, they're keeping their peripheral vision in check. Now, I'm torn between perseverance and potential. Because if you're standing up for others, I think that could require perseverance, but I feel like there's more of an argument for like there's a lot of potential that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Crap, I can't remember any character names from Everything Everywhere All at Once all of a sudden. But like the main character.
Yeah.
She's got a lot of potential until the events of the show, that at least the one that we were following didn't really follow through on
any of them, really.
So I don't know if we're going the same way here, if you know what I mean.
So I think we should go potential. I think that makes more sense than perseverance does.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right, let's go for it then.
Yep.
let's see. You should have a total of 15 points overall. The 8 starting points spread across each category, and 7 assigned points. Yeah, 15.
Cool.
All right. Well, that finishes up step 3, which means it is time for us to take a pause and head over to our announcements segment. What is? Hey, Joel, do we have a name for this?
No.
It's just the announcement segment.
We can come up with something clever later.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. We're moving on to the announcements segment, and we'll see you after future us is giving you the lowdown on what's going down.
We really need to come up with a way to actually
I was-
start mid-rolls.
I was about to say, how do we cold open this?
Yeah. Maybe this is it. We can always just open by like, hey, how do we begin?
That's true. Okay, well, yeah. All right. Anyways, welcome to the mid-roll, everybody.
Yeah, we are totally pros at this and know exactly how to start it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're here after mere seconds for you all, but what? Oh, 2 weeks for us?
Yeah. Approximately 14 seconds for them. I did actually, I don't know if I'm done with it, but I did create a mid-roll stinger. You guys already heard it, so
yeah, you guys heard
you don't
it.
need me to play it again for you real quick.
They'll hear it again soon, surely.
They heard it before we began.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's enough about the stinger. Is there anything like news-wise that we have to cover?
News-wise, I'm gonna be honest. I don't have any news.
I don't have any show news either. Do we have any Badger Trove news? I don't think so.
We do still exist on Patreon.
Yeah, we got that one patron, and I am keeping the calendar updated for him.
Good man, Joel. Good man.
I could keep the calendar updated for you too, dear listener at home, if you wanted to give $2. We talked about the Patreon stuff last episode. We do not need to do this again.
Okay.
Let's just talk about where to find the show. If this is your first episode, somehow, welcome, by the way. We're glad to have you. Glad that Fist Ultimate Edition is your favorite RPG.
Joel, this isn't the one for Fist. That's next episode.
Yeah, we'll cut that in post.
Gotcha.
We'll cut that in post. Sorry, I mean, glad Parselings is your favorite TTRPG or whatever. Maybe you just found this some other way, but we're glad to have you. And you can follow the show on Twitter, so long as it exists, Tumblr, YouTube. Those are the big 3. At Literal Cat Pod. Then you can also find us on Pillow Fort. I don't actually know if Pillow Fort's taking off or not, but if you want to follow us on Pillow Fort, I have created a Pillow Fort community, which is pillowfort.com/community. I can never remember. Or not pillowfort.social/community/literalcatpod. You do need an account to join the community. That's how websites work. Be sure to rate and review the show on the podcast reviewing service of your choice, be that Spotify, Apple, Good Pods, Podchaser. I literally don't know of any other ones.
I couldn't name you any more than that either.
We are sitting at 5 stars on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts at the moment, but we don't have any actual reviews.
Huh. I didn't realize that we actually got a solid number on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, no, we got 1 5-star review over there, so it counts.
Nice.
Yeah. We talked about where to find us on social media. We talked about rating and reviewing us. If you've got a game that you would like to see, if you've got a type of cat you would like to challenge us to make, if you want to come on the show, if you want to send us cat pictures, please send us pictures of your cats. You can do that by emailing them to literalcatpod@gmail.com. Let's see, what's the other big show thing? Character sheets. You can find every
sheets.
character sheet. You can find every single character sheet we've ever made, including the one from this episode, by going to bit.ly/literalcatpod. And if you don't see this week's episode, check back in a few days. I am very forgetful.
It'll be there in time.
Yeah, eventually. Let's see. Austin, do you have anything you would like to plug about yourself?
Sure. You can follow me on Twitter and Tumblr, both at Avalon Alchemist. You can also follow me on Twitch and watch me play silly games with my friends. I've been playing Deep Rock Galactic with some friends of mine.
I need to try that.
It's so fun. But we play that usually on Fridays around 5 p.m. So far, we are in the every other Friday sort of situation, but that is subject to change. But yeah, Fridays at 5 p.m., you can expect that. 5 p.m. EST, I guess I should say. And other than that, I'll just be streaming here and there, random games. Recently finished Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. I've been playing Destiny 2 on there. Still gotta finish Fallout New Vegas. And then more games to come. But that's about it for me. Joel, what have you got going on?
Me? Not much. Not really anything, actually. But you can still follow me on social media. That's a thing that you're allowed to do. You just have to look up Denalo Lioge on Twitter or Tumblr or YouTube, but I'm not posting videos anymore. The thing is, I don't want to spell that out for you, and you don't know how to spell it because it's my name backwards. So what you're going to do instead is you're going to go to jholland.start.page. That is going to take you to my Twitter, my Tumblr. It'll also take you to my Ko-fi, where you can ask me to make 3D models, logos, or Unreal Engine blueprint scripts for you.
He's pretty good at those blueprint scripts, I'll tell you what. I have no idea how they work. This man is a wizard.
I don't know how to do real code, but I can do blueprint real good. I don't think we have anything else for this specific mid-roll.
I don't believe so. So I think that means it's time to get back to Parselings for y'all.
Yeah, unless we got a promo swap to throw in, which I genuinely, at this point in time, do not know if we do or not. So we will all be surprised.
But yeah, and if you want to add swap, get at us.
Yeah, you can also email your promo to literalcatpod@gmail.com if you personally are a podcaster, and we will totally throw it on our lineup. Yeah, let's get back to the episode.
Yeah.
And we're back. Hope that was a good mid-roll section for you. Maybe we had a fun ad for you to listen to. Maybe. I don't actually know. No one sent us ads yet because we haven't even put out the call.
Yeah.
At this exact moment in time. And then, what else do we need to... Oh, yeah. Maybe you also heard the new transition sting for the middle section, if I made that.
Yeah.
If I didn't make that, then this is gonna sound real dumb.
It's alright, we can cut it in post.
Yeah. Anyway, it's time for step 4, which is aptitude. You must decide your character's aptitudes. These represent their talents and skills. There are 3 overarching categories of aptitude: intent, feats, and conduct, which are the ones that we just put other stats in. So I wonder if that's related here.
Could be.
Oh, okay. So right next to that big wheel that we just filled in, we've got 3 sections here, one labeled blue, one green, and one red, right?
Yes.
So we've got the blue one is intent, which is crafting, medic, memory, perception, research, technology.
Gotcha. Okay.
So our primary category was what again?
Our primary category was enchantment, aka
intent, the red one.
Well, yeah. For some reason what's
No, it's wait. Intent is intelligence and insight. Feats is force and finesse. Conduct is charm and cunning. Okay, so we're conduct then.
Gotcha.
That's our primary, and we get 5 points. No, 7 points in the primary category. And those skills are acting, animals, empathy, etiquette, manipulation, and rumors. Okay, so we organize these by designating a primary and secondary. So I think for speed's sake, we're just going to go with the same primary and secondary as before. Your character begins with 1 point in each of these aptitudes, as is already marked on the character sheet.
Yep.
So our primary, if we're going with the same thing as before, would be conduct, which is, again, acting, animals, empathy, etiquette, manipulation, and rumors. So I would guess we're pretty good at animals.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think there's a pretty clear...
And it doesn't look like there's a limit on how many we can put in one category. So, like, we could just max out animals, although that would only give us, 3 points left to work with?
Yes.
I think let's put 2 in animals for now, maybe?
Yeah, 2 until we can figure out.
Yep. Empathy, I think, would be one that we should have some points in. Probably also 2 for now. And then manipulation. We've gotta be a master manipulator, right?
Ooh, not sure how I feel about that.
Oh, maybe we're mediocre at manipulation then.
Now, what do you mean by manipulation, though?
I mean, that's just the name of the thing.
Yeah.
So maybe we can get some clarification in the book on what they think it means.
Yeah, like, are we, like, is this manipulating people to, like, do things for us, or is it like, hey, you should come play outside with me, and if you don't, you suck. 5, so we have 2 other points.
Okay, so there's on page 41 in 53 in the PDF, sorry. There's a thing for this, conduct aptitudes. Your disposition can allow you to manipulate a person's desires and ideals. It's the art of bending a target to your will, sculpting them into the person you want them to be. I still, this is kind of like the definition of manipulation that, gets a bad rap. But, I think, again, this is a mother figure of a cat to other, younger cats.
Uh-huh.
I think she's pretty good at this. You have to be good at this at some level to guide people into, when you're raising children.
That is fair. Yeah, you've convinced me. You've manipulated my decision.
I mean, that's just the thing. Getting people to do what you want, no matter how you do it, is manipulation.
Yeah.
So,
So even if you're like, hey, little Jimmy, you gotta eat, if you eat all your broccoli, you can play on your video game for 5 extra minutes tonight. That's still manipulation.
Exactly.
Despite it being both good for the child's health and also good for the child's entertainment.
Yeah.
So I think, do we want to put our last point into manipulation as well, then?
So we've done 2, 2, 2. We've done 2, 2, and 2 up to this point, right?
Yeah, so we have 1 point left, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Do we want to say the cat is also good at etiquette, rumors, or acting?
Etiquette could be interesting. Obviously, if you're a parental figure.
Does this cat ever act dramatically to get their way? Though that would be manipulation. I'm just thinking, in terms of interacting with humans, which will probably be where we spend most of our time.
Yeah. I think we can make a good argument for that, yeah.
Okay, so maybe 1 point in acting?
Yeah.
Just behave in a dramatic fashion to get people's attention.
Cat does that a lot. He meows at me the middle of the second I get home.
He's been meowing at you while we've been recording today.
That's also true. I'm sure you've heard him in the background at some point while listening to this.
I have. And that's okay. I have made a solemn vow to never cut out not Loki. Genji, sorry. Someone else I know has a cat named Loki.
I know has a cat named Loki.
Same someone. Probably not. It's probably a common cat name.
Probably.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I cannot for the life of me think of the actual human being's name at this exact moment.
Well, sometimes we like cats more than people.
Oh no, I remember now. I don't actually know this person. It was a YouTuber's cat.
Oh. That's what.
Yeah. Let's.
Okay.
Anyway, I think we're on to our secondary category.
Yeah.
Which is feats?
I believe so. Yeah, because the green goes with the green, right?
Yeah. So feats is force and finesse.
Yep. So That is athletics, larceny, melee, ranged, ride, and stealth.
So we're definitely good at stealth, right?
In classic cat fashion, I think yes, we are good at stealth.
Okay.
We want to put 1 or 2 points in stealth.
Again, let's go with 2 for the moment. I feel like there's a lot of these that we're just not going to be able to use, so...
Yeah, like ride, for example.
Again, we've had a cat trained to drive a horse-drawn buggy, so there's precedent.
Yeah, but, I mean, in this game specifically.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Probably good at melee, right? If we're standing up for others.
Yeah, again, the throwing of hands is an important part of this character.
And then I will also make an argument for athletics, because if you are outside playing around all the time, getting that movement in, you're probably in some form or another good at athletics.
Should we put a point in larceny?
Now, I would love to hear the justification for larceny.
We're good at crime. Cat have natural affinity for crime.
I have to admit, we have established on this podcast that cats do have a natural affinity for crime. So you are so right.
Okay, let's see. We've only got 5 points, and we've already put 2 in stealth, and then we put how many in athletics?
We put 1 in athletics, 1 in larceny, and 1 in melee, which is
sounds good.
For those of you at home not keeping track, that is all 5 of our points.
Yes, that is true.
I guess I more likely should say those of you at work track.
Or in the car.
Or in the car. I see you, Jeremy, sitting at your desk. That's gonna freak somebody out in like 2 years.
Yeah. And I see you, Rebecca, behind the wheel of your Toyota Camry.
Yeah, that one. I'm gonna give that one a 5-year turnaround time.
All right, we can't start doing this bit again. I'm sorry.
No, let's move on.
Anyway,
we have 3 points in our remaining category, which is intent.
Yep. So I hate most of these except for perception.
Perception, I think, is a good one.
Is this cat any good at research, technology? Probably memory, right?
Memory would be good. I was also thinking medic, because if you're taking care of others.
Yeah, okay, so we could just put an extra point in all 3 of those, and then we don't have to worry about crafts, research, and technology. We're not Peter the Kaiju Reader. We don't work in a laboratory.
Peter the Kaiju Reader lives on, though. Talking about the other day, Into the Peterverse.
Yeah. I think the joke in the episode was into the Kaiju verse, but we discussed it afterwards and established that is almost certainly a thing that they are going to try with Godzilla at some point, so...
But Joel, what if we get the licensing first?
Then we are probably going... We'll probably get a cease and desist letter and have to spend thousands in court to prove that we used it first, even if there's a record of it. It's not worth it.
Fair enough.
But the problem is, we might run into the same issue with Into the Peterverse, because most Spider-Men are Peter Parker.
You know what? They already have Into the Spider-Verse.
He's got me there.
I don't think they'll do the Peterverse specifically. That's too niche. Oh, you want to see more of Peter parked car? I don't think so.
God, someone was just talking about Peter parked car on Tumblr earlier today. God.
Oh, incredible.
He was in Across the Spider-Verse, wasn't he?
He sure was.
Anyway.
Alright, we can move on to step 5. Derived stats. Terrible class in college, but you know.
So we go to page 43 in the book, it looks like, for more details on this, but it might tell us everything we need here.
It does look like it tells us basically all of our needed information.
Cool. So health is perseverance plus force. So our force is 3 and our perseverance is 1, right?
Yes. So we would have 4 in our health. Nope. There's
Can you just,
way.
Like, draw a circle?
And I draw a circle. I can add a shape.
Can you alter the shape's color and...
Ooh. Oh, wait, hold up.
Can we make that transparent?
We can.
Change the stroke. What do you know?
Incredible. Better than out.
PDF 24, everyone.
Yeah. What a tool.
What a tool. If only I could find a tool that wasn't like a paid web service to make consistent form fillable PDFs and just draw the boxes on myself for all this.
Yeah. Up next is potential/resource. Record your potential rating. This score is equal to your potential image. It represents a renewable resource that can be utilized to change the outcome of a check.
So potential equals potential. Got it.
Our potential.
Cool. Next is perseverance. Perseverance is equal to perseverance.
Incredible.
This allows you to recompose your deck at any time.
Great.
Then we have Jesus. We have defense, which is, one moment, it's perseverance plus insight plus finesse plus cunning divided by 2. So, one moment, I've got a calculator pulled up here. Our perseverance is 1 plus insight is 2 plus cunning is 2 plus the last thing.
Finesse.
We did perseverance, insight, finesse, cunning. So we got, finesse is the last one.
So 1.
And that's 1.
Should
6 divided by 2 is 3. And that's our defense.
Great.
Then our initiative is potential plus insight plus finesse.
Potential 2, insight 2, finesse 3, or 1, so 5.
Nice. Speed, which is force plus finesse.
Which is 4.
And then our carry is our potential plus force times 2.
Plus perseverance. So potential and force is 5, times 2 is 10, plus our 1 perseverance is 11.
Nice. And then finally, our deck size.
So your total image.
We want that to be...
That's 15.
At least 6 inches, right?
Yeah. That's typically what people assume is a good size.
Yeah, anyway, so it's equal to our total image, which by default I think is 15.
Correct.
So it just starts out at 15.
It's pretty good deck size, I gotta say.
It's the number of cards you get.
So we're on to step 6, which is parse traits.
Articulation, which starts at 1.
Easy enough?
Yeah.
We go.
Cool.
Coherency is up next. Record the character's coherency. This is a mark of your character's control over and retention of their own mind. Parselings begin at a coherency 7.
Is this like a sanity stat?
I believe it is. Personally, I'm not a fan of, but I believe we've talked about this on the podcast before, how most games do not.
Yeah. Like trying to codify that never turns out well. But okay, looking at this, I will bet if I go to 72, they're going to specify, no, that is absolutely not what it is. Like, just reading this, yes, the description kind of makes it sound like, a retention of their own mind. But the point is your ability to use words, I am betting, is what, like, the specific intention of this is. But I can find out by going to page 72, so. Coherency. Coherency is a mark of control the retention of a parseling has over their own mind. As their powers grow, it is expected that their grip on their rationality will loosen and their morals will warp and change. The parsite within desires to be an embodiment of its chosen words, and as it invades the body and mind, changes will occur. So the point is, I guess, more about, like, the parsite is altering your personality?
I guess so.
So we start at 7, but it can go up to 10 and fall to -4. But if you hit 0, then you are in a state of incoherency, which has consequences. Which we won't get into that now because it's not necessarily relevant to character creation.
Nope.
Unless we find a way in which it is. Syllable.
Yeah, syllable. Record your syllable score. It is derived from the sum of your insight plus cunning plus articulation. This represents your capability to use your parse-based powers. So insight is 2, cunning is 2, and our articulation at default is 1, which means we have 5 syllables.
And then parse aptitude. This represents your skill in contributing to a parse. Emission is intelligence plus insight. Okay, so these things that we were confused by before are just like the sum total of those stats.
So this would be 3.
3. Embodiment would be 4. And these are kind of fixed numbers based on the primary and secondary nature of these stats. And tertiary, I guess, if you want to get technical about the ones that are left out. So we've got 5, 4, and then 3 for us. Someone else might have 2 3s in this if they decided to focus on potential and perseverance over any of the others.
Yeah, over all the others.
Yeah. And then finally, finish him or her. Finish the character.
Yeah. Let's see. Tricks. Record any selected tricks. You have 7 points to spend on tricks. Please note that some tricks may have their own requirements, and you must purchase all points of a trick to gain its benefits. You can see Appendix A tricks on page 147, page 159 of the PDF.
Fancy. Okay, so, ace tricks.
So many tricks, Joel.
There are a lot of tricks, guys.
God, there's
like,
so many.
You could be here for a very long time.
Sorry, what page did I say it started on? 159? Yeah, and it goes to 179.
It's a lot of tricks. But a lot of them seem to be tied to, like, other stats that we've discussed. Like, ace is its own thing, but push, intent, we've talked about intent, we've talked about feats, we've talked about conduct. There's some uncategorized tricks as well. Then we have parseling tricks. There's tricks underneath the uncategorized section. Like, I feel like that should be the last section.
Yeah. Well, let's
see. We're good at... What are we good at again?
We are good at enchantment and embodiment mostly, aka charisma, cunning, force, and finesse. If you want specifics, we're good at charisma and force on top, and then potential, cunning, and insight are our seconds, and then at the bottom we have perseverance, intent,
But like the categories those are derived from are called, like, what was it? Intent, conduct, and feats, right? So we're good at... So like intent is insight and intellect, I want to say. Let's see. We can probably see easily by looking at the feats. Establishment, focus, jury rigor, holistic treatment, perceptive. Yeah, this is... Intent is insight and intelligence. Feats is... Here's one that we need. Feline grace.
Oh, where's that at?
It's under feats on page 152 or 164 in the PDF.
Gotcha. I see it. Points 1 to 5.
So we'd need to spend 5 to get the full benefit, I think it is what it said.
Yes. And we have 7 points total.
Yep. So then we could choose one other feat, probably. Let's see.
Ooh, attentive.
Attentive. Where do you see attentive?
Right under feats, tricks, the first one.
Oh, 1 or 4. So if we spend 1 point, then we could potentially go get another one.
Yeah.
It requires a 3 finesse. Do we have that?
No, we do not.
No. Okay.
I forgot about the requirements. Whoops.
It's fine. But we have an athletics of 3, don't we?
We have an athletics.
No, we only have an athletics of 2. Crap, I didn't think about that. So we might not be able to take Feline Grace after all, unless we want to rearrange some of our feats points. Like, we could take 1 out of stealth and put it into athletics and then we'd keep our distribution that way.
I think we should do that. Because I was just about to suggest we take 1 out of stealth.
Alright. Let's see, is there anything in conduct?
We can also get the Fleet of Foot skill, which requires 1 to 5 points. It requires a force 2, we have 3. It says you've got a need for speed. Perhaps it's a matter of technique, or moving with your legs the right way. Maybe it's part of your genes or in your shoes. That's what you tell everyone. But the fact is, no one is as fast as you.
Okay.
Increases your speed by 1. But that could go with our character's playfulness and,
Yeah. Like, you wouldn't get the full benefit of it, I don't think, until you could invest, what would it be, 3 more points into it?
Yeah.
But yeah, we could go ahead and get that started.
Okay. So, Fleet of Foot, 2 points in that.
Alright, and then I'm going to go ahead and get myself back up to the earlier section and see what else we need to... So we got our tricks, and then challenges. With the GM's approval, you may write challenges for your character. We are our own GMs today, so do we approve?
I approve.
Okay, I also approve. Ideally, they should be appropriate for the character's personality or history. The challenges will interfere with and hinder your character's journey, and should not be taken on a mere whim.
Write the challenges on a single joker and add it to your deck. This does not count against your maximum card limit.
All right, isn't there a thing on the sheet for challenges too?
There is this little section up here for challenge.
All right, so yes, you, the player at home, will write this on a joker when you get this character sheet, because that is part of the game. And that was the thing that drew me to this in the first place, is that part of what makes up the character sheet is not just, the sheet, which is extensive. I should clarify. Extensive. There is so much on this sheet. But the big thing about the game is that, yes, you have a 52 card deck. I think technically 54 since you can use the jokers. Oh no. If you take a challenge, you gain 2 additional points to purchase tricks. So we could bump Fleet of Foot up to 4 then, and then we would have, 1 point closer to using it. Or we could come up with something else. But anyway, so yeah, the big thing about the game is you get this deck of cards, and the cards are part of the character, and so there are times where you'll be called upon to write on your cards, and it'll just be part of the deck moving forward, of your personal deck.
It's a very cool concept.
Yeah, we are totally stealing it for 1 to 3 anime dudes at a truck stop, give you a big sword and ask you to kill God. But we're not literally stealing it. Yeah. No, we are including a deck of a 54 card deck though. Mm-hmm. That is an actual thing.
So I'm assuming you want to add a challenge?
Oh yeah, we're adding a challenge.
What would be a good challenge?
Well, let's go to Appendix D, Challenges and Conditions, on page 186, aka 198. We've got personality quirks, mental illness, physical ailments, social issues, parse-afflicted, addiction, amnesia. There's, again, just a lot. One of them is bad odor, so he could just be a little stinky.
I'm already a big fan of the art in this book, but I want to point out what they did on page 194.
Oh yeah,
with the
that's
character.
Cool.
So for I know this is an audio medium. There's a splash to the bottom left, and there's a character pulling a cloak over their shoulder, but that cloak is the page itself.
Yeah, it's cool. If you get this PDF for the whole book, you should check out page 194 specifically.
Sorry, I'm a sucker for art and cool details, as I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a great use of it.
Yeah, it's really cool. That I'm impressed.
Oh, wait a minute. No.
What?
So, challenges are only page 187.
Oh.
Past that is conditions. These are status effects that can be applied to you, it looks like.
Oh, gotcha.
Maybe?
Yeah. Because let's see, under personality quirks, it says examples: explosively irritable, forgetfulness, phobias, socially inappropriate.
Gotcha. Do we want to give our cat I feel like parse afflicted could be interesting because it would set our cat a little apart.
Yeah.
Parsing can have a wide and far-reaching consequences, permanent mutations, mental disorders, or even life-threatening curses. Always consult the GM for any of these types of challenges. I think maybe, what if, there's just, an uncanny effect on the cat, bonding with this, Parsite thing allowed it to be capable of human speech, but it also gave it, a human mouth.
Ooh. I like the idea. I hate the image.
Yeah.
But I think that would be a challenge for most people to get through.
So I don't know if the issue is the parse afflicted thing is just the range could be anywhere from severe, it sounds like, to just a little unsettling.
Yeah.
And so this would obviously be just a little unsettling.
Which, either way, I think it works.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it works.
Which gives us 2 extra points, correct?
Yeah. So again, like we could come up with another trick, or since we took one trick that we didn't max out, and therefore it sounds like maybe we can't use. If I'm understanding this correct,
I believe we can use it, just not to its full extent. Hold on. Yeah, each point in Fleet of Foot increases your speed by 1, so we still get it. But
okay.
If we put,
so we could just we could boost it to 4, or we could come up with something else. Because it sounds like if every point means something, then that would change it changes our speed from 4 to 6 already.
Yeah.
So do we want to start with 8 speed, or do we want to come up with one more trick?
Let's look at the other tricks real quick, just in case. Can we only do feats tricks, or can we choose?
We can do any tricks, I think.
We just have to meet the requirements.
Yep. I'm gonna look at the parseling the parseling tricks. Look at interpretations on page 159 or 171 in the book. Tell me what you think. So it's the flavor text there's no requirements for it. Researchers and scholars alike have always said the words granted to a parseling come from the depths of those individuals, that the words brought to the surface by the parsite are simply those that resonate strongest within the creature. With meditation or heightened emotions, one could tap into the hidden possibilities within. At the start of the scene, you may use this trick to gain temporary words to use. Those words will temporarily appears on your body and will fade after one use.
I like that. That could be really cool and really, obviously it's situational based, but that's one of those moments where you can pull that out. You roll the right word or something good for the situation. It's one of those oh dang moments,
Yeah. On this, it says at 2 points we can use a random word from our potential augments. So that's the thing on the second page that is determined it as a group during the character creation process.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd roll 1d20 and then if we invested 4 points, we would also be allowed to pull from our aspects, our potential aspects, and we would roll 1d10 for that. So yeah, I think that's a fun little thing we can give the character. It's cool.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. Nice.
We can do a script, but it sounds like that's higher level play and not necessarily something that beginning characters get right away.
Yeah, no, it says with GM's approval, you can start with additional script to improve your character, and campaigns featuring more experienced characters, you may be offered an additional starting script. Seeing as how this would be our first campaign, I don't think that's necessary.
Yeah. No, script is according to script on page 22 or 34 in the PDF. Script is acquired at the end of the session.
So yeah.
It's a numeric representation of how your character has grown and changed through their experiences.
Well, how about that? Joel, think we did it.
Yeah, we got through it.
Nice.
And we already did our announcements and housekeeping and all that earlier. Maybe we call it the housekeeping section.
That could be the title of it. Also, Joel, I just realized something that is painfully upsetting to me.
What?
So, you see how all of these boxes over here are hexagons?
Yeah.
Typed little X's into them?
Right.
There is a hexagon shape option.
Is it really worth it, though? Anyway, before he gets too in thinking about that too much, do you have a cat pun for us?
Meow. Fuck. Fuck. You put me on the spot too fast.
I'm sorry.
Don't be like cats and clean your litter. Clean your own litter.